Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra to boast the fastest charging speed in the company's history. Samsung has been quite conservative when it comes to implementing fast charging speeds on its devices. The charging speed was up to 45 watt with the S20 Ultra, but was dropped to 25 watt with the Galaxy S21 Ultra. However, the phone restarted offering 45 watt rapid charging with newer Ultra models. Compared to competitor Android brands, Samsung still lags behind. While some brands are giving fast charging speeds of up to 240 watt, like the powerful Realme GT5, the Korean company is locked at 45 watt fast charging with the new S25 Ultra. That might change with next year's Galaxy S26 Ultra. According to prominent leaker Ice Universe on X, the S26 Ultra will feature the fastest charging speeds in the company's history. While the leaker didn't expressly specify an exact amount, it is predicted to exceed the current 45 watt restriction, assuming this leak turns out to be real. Samsung has been cautious, particularly following the Galaxy Note7 fiasco. The business has been delaying any updates to fast charging speeds ever since. However, it appears that Samsung is now ready to take things up, albeit it still won't be placing a charging brick inside the package, citing environmental reasons. As for the screen, Samsung has been quietly expanding the screen size of its Ultra phones over the past few years. It pushed the limits with the S25 Ultra by giving it a 6.86-inch display and lowering the bezels. Now it is rumored that the S26 Ultra will have an even bigger screen. Ice Universe again predicts that the S26 Ultra will sport a 6.89-inch display. That is slightly bigger than the Galaxy S25 Ultra's 6.86-inch display. And Samsung has reportedly achieved this without increasing the phone's width, 77.6mm, by slimming down the bezels around the screen. Some rough calculations reveal that the upcoming Ultra phone will likely have bezels that are just 1.15mm thin, which is an improvement compared to the S25 Ultra's 1.2mm thin bezels. So like Apple, Samsung is continuing to minimize the bezels around the screens of its phones. It makes them look even more futuristic. The S26 Ultra display will reportedly use a color filter on Encapsulation OLED panel. It delivers a brighter, lighter, and thinner display by eliminating the typical polarizer with a color filter and switching the conventional pixel definition layer with a black pixel definition layer. It leads to a screen that can be brighter without requiring more power, hence boosting the phone's battery life. It is already being used in the Z Fold 7 phones. Samsung has been shrinking down its phones over the years. Devices like the S25 Edge and the Z Fold 7 is one of the world's thinnest smartphones. It is rumored to make its next phones even slimmer and lighter, and its opposition to adopting bigger cameras and batteries is a part of that worldview. The S Pen saga. A transformative shift. Perhaps the most significant and controversial rumor surrounding the S26 Ultra is the potential for Samsung to remove the S Pen, or at least some of its main functions. In this regard, leaker Panda Flash Pro on X suggested that Samsung might remove the S Pen digitizer from the S26 Ultra. This would be a dramatic shift, given the S Pen has been a defining feature of the Ultra series, and the Note series before it, with its built-in stylus being a major motivation for purchase. Further, the report says that the Bluetooth-capable S Pen will not be making a return. This fits with what previously happened with the S25 Ultra, which apparently stripped away the Bluetooth radio and rejected functions like the remote control shutter button and cursor pointing capability owing to usage data and cost considerations. This shows a progressive loss in S Pen functionality even before its eventual discontinuation. For me, I think with what is going on this year, I'm afraid to say, Samsung might remove the S Pen entirely from the Galaxy S27 series, hinting at a longer-term strategy. The key reason mentioned for the likely removal of the S Pen digitizer in the S26 Ultra is to make space for new charging technology, particularly the insertion of a Qi2 magnetic ring into the phone. This integration would enable magnetic charging and interoperability with a wide range of charging accessories, enabling a MagSafe-like functionality akin to Apple's iPhones. The current S25 Ultra is Qi2 ready, meaning it can utilize magnetic covers to enable 15-watt Qi2 wireless charging, but it lacks the intrinsic magnetic rings present in devices like the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If Samsung implements these magnets, the S26 Ultra would natively support the magnetic power profile of Qi2, ensuring perfect alignment for efficient and faster wireless charging. Additionally, this change could help Samsung reduce the thickness of the S26 Ultra, aligning with their overarching goal of creating thinner phones. This pattern shows that Samsung is experiencing a big strategic reprioritization regarding the S Pen. It is not simply a feature removal but a complex trade-off where the S Pen's traditional form factor and integration method are being weighed against other pressing design goals and the adoption of new, potentially more universally appealing technologies. The S Pen, while iconic, appears to be a casualty of the relentless pursuit of sleekness and the unique demands of new form factors like foldables. However, the ongoing research and development indicates that Samsung is not abandoning the stylus concept entirely, but rather seeking a more space-efficient or advanced solution that aligns with future device designs, possibly as an external accessory or integrated into specific niche devices rather than a universal embedded feature across all flagships. This signals a major shift in what constitutes the Ultra experience. Qi2 is not only a charging update, it is a strategic design enabler and a possible catalyst for a new accessory ecosystem for Samsung. By incorporating the magnetic ring directly, Samsung is committing to a smoother and more adaptable wireless charging experience, perhaps opening the door to a greater assortment of magnetic accessories comparable to Apple's MagSafe ecosystem. This internal integration also directly supports the goal of reducing the thickness of the S26 Ultra. Therefore, the S Pen digitizer likely elimination is not only about losing a feature, but also about gaining a new, potentially more globally appealing and future-proof wireless charging and accessory platform. This signals a shift in Samsung's definition of innovation for its flagship series, preferring a larger, more integrated wireless experience. Despite the potential for faster charging, leaker Ice Universe speculates that the S26 Ultra will retain the same 5000 mAh battery capacity as the S25 Ultra and S24 Ultra. This could initially sound like stasis, leading some to conclude that hardware progress is slowing. However, Ice Universe also suggests Samsung would boost the energy density of the battery. This is a critical distinction. An increase in energy density means the battery can store more power in the same volume or maintain the same capacity while being thinner or smaller. This coincides with the overall smartphone battery market trend of pursuing increased energy density for thinner and lighter devices. The average smartphone battery capacity has already grown significantly from 2,500 mAh in 2015 to over 4,500 mAh in 2023, indicating a continuous push for better endurance. This demonstrates that while the headline battery capacity value, 5,000 mAh, may not change, the underlying battery technology is still evolving. This sophisticated hardware enhancement fits Samsung's broader design aims of making slimmer devices without compromising on endurance. It is a form of improvement that is less immediately evident to the consumer than a raw capacity increase, but it is vital for enabling the entire device form factor and performance. This indicates that innovation in battery technology is not always about bigger numbers, but smarter, more efficient energy storage. One piece expresses worry that these supposed minor hardware updates, particularly the consistent 5000 mAh battery, show a trend where smartphone innovations are increasingly focused on software and AI improvements rather than big hardware changes. This concern is amplified by the fact that Samsung has already effectively implemented Galaxy AI across many devices. The widespread availability of AI functions on previous models could indeed lessen the perceived value of upgrading to the S26, as users could not see a strong hardware-driven justification. The author highlights that hardware remains consistent throughout the phone's existence, while software changes and updates, making hardware a more accurate indicator of long-term worth. This highlights a critical strategic dilemma for Samsung. If the most compelling innovations are not exclusive to the new hardware, the perceived value proposition for upgrading diminishes significantly. Samsung must properly describe how the S26 Ultra's new or improved hardware significantly boosts or allows exclusive, more powerful, or more efficient AI features that cannot be replicated on older smartphones. Without this evident hardware-AI synergy, consumers may indeed choose to hold onto their current, still capable devices, influencing upgrade cycles. This underscores the importance of tangible hardware advancements as a core driver for consumer upgrades, even in an AI-driven era. However, it is vital to realize that greater energy density represents a hardware advancement, even if the nominal capacity remains the same. It contributes to smaller designs and potentially better thermal management. Furthermore, AI-driven power management can significantly extend the effective battery life even with the same capacity by optimizing energy consumption for power-hungry features like advanced cameras, AI apps, and high refresh rate screens. The long-lasting battery life to keep you going all day, claimed for the S25 Ultra, suggests that software optimization is already a key part of Samsung's battery strategy. In conclusion, while the device is ready to give an even more immersive visual experience with its larger screen and vanishing bezels, the narrative around its basic features like battery life, charging, camera, and the S Pen is one of cautious trade-offs and moving priorities. The quest for the fastest charging speed in the company's history is an enticing proposition, promising quicker top-ups for subscribers. However, the consistent 5,000 mAh battery capacity, despite advancements in energy density, highlights a nuanced approach to battery innovation. This focus on energy density, rather than absolute capacity figures, enables slimmer designs and superior thermal management, coinciding with broader industry trends. Yet it also calls into focus the rising reliance on AI-driven software optimization to lengthen effective battery life, which raises doubts about the tangible hardware advances that urge users to upgrade. Still, this should be taken with a massive grain of salt, given we are months away from launch. Let us know in the comments below whether you are excited about this development, and whether you would prefer Samsung to put a charging brick inside the box instead of just improving the charging speed. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates, and goodbye.